We're close to 2.5 years into the build of Ron 3, our 50-foot dream sailboat that we're building ourselves. Last week we built the bulkheads for the dayhead and started on the nav station.
So I've just finished preparing another pretty massive lamination session. It's around 6 square meters, the table. So yeah, quite a lot of glass and epoxy today as well. It's already quite late today, but I was thinking it would be nice to get this laminated and into the vacuum bag today, so I have something to work with tomorrow. The pieces here are part of the aft section of the deck house next to the entrance, and these pieces over here are part of the nav station area. Yeah, as you can imagine, I'm starting to get pretty tired of this whole process of doing these massive vacuum bagging sessions, but there's no way around it. We just need to get through this phase of the build. And yeah, as always with, when you're building a big boat like this, some of these phases are pretty lengthy and much of the same. And of course that reflects in the videos as well, and we realize that, but it's the same with that. There's no way around it. We just need to get through this phase of the build. But we're getting closer and we can see the light in the tunnel, and soon we have all the bigger pieces of the interior in place. All right, let's do this.
Only a year and a half ago, we had close to no experience of laminating with glass fiber at all. I had never done it before, and Johan had some experience from jobs on his previous boats. Now, laminating has become such a normal thing for us, and we have hundreds of hours of experience. The next morning, Johan unwrapped the laminated sheets and cut out the bulkheads to their correct shape.
So I think it's time to remove the plastic now on the hull. It's the beginning of April and starting to become warmer. Summer is around the corner, which is so nice. It's been a long winter. And soon it's time to start building the deck. And yeah, we can't do that with the plastic in place. And I don't think we need to heat up the inside of the hull any longer, really. I could be wrong. It's April, so you never know. But I will not remove it fully. I will try to roll it up and tie it to the ceiling so that we can use it again after the summer. Yeah, what a difference without the plastic now on the sides. Especially when you're up in the salon area, you get a totally different feel for the whole thing. Yeah, today I'm hoping I can get 4 pieces installed. These two, which are the aft end of the deck house, the starboard and the port side. And then we'll get the true silhouette of the deck house, at least how it will look at the aft end. And then I have 2 pieces for the nav station, the sole, and the wall dividing the guest cabin from the nav station area. I hope I can get all of those in place, at least tacked. Then the plan is to laminate some more, so we can get the rest of the structure in place, in the day head area in here, the wet locker and the sole as well.
Installing the bulkheads in the boat is like putting the pieces to a complicated puzzle together. Each piece has to be in the right spot. And this puzzle also has to carry a lot of weight.
So everything is in place. Next thing is epoxy, like I have to do on the whole thing here. I haven't put any epoxy on this yet. And like I said, this is going to be our nav station. There's going to be a sofa here and a desk or table in front of that. And that will extend to roughly somewhere around here. Yeah, so it will be a pretty deep desk. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave this for now and continue with those aft pieces, the aft section of the deck house, get those in the correct position. And once that is done, it's time to mix up a lot of thickened epoxy to do all of these fillets that we need to permanently glue all of these panels in the correct place before it's time for tabbing that Malin will do later on. So there's going to be a lot of thickened epoxy for this, many kilos. Yeah, one really good thing with the combing out here is that I know that the top of that is totally horizontal. So I can use that now together with the laser to take height measurements of everything here in the salon, which is a lot easier than to use the waterline. So this way I know that everything that I'm building up here now is at the correct height and that it's not tilted in any way from side to side or lengthwise in the hull. So I'm using that now for the bulkheads to see that we have the same height on these. Should be 84 millimeters, and that's exactly what I have here. And then it should be the same on this side. Yeah, also 84 millimeters. So I have like 4 reference points now. These 2 and 2 up in the front here on those bulkheads. So I've decided to wait with the hole here in this bulkhead for the porthole of the window, because we still haven't decided what type of window we're going to have here, if we're going to have one that you can open or not, and also the size of it. I'm thinking we will have the nav instruments on that wall and building a small box into the dayhead, because there's plenty of room on the other side of that bulkhead.
Vi ser alldeles strax. Jag kommer vara där uppe alldeles strax. Det är fullt med is. Jag måste hålla i mig. Jag måste hålla i mig jättehårt. Nu är jag uppe på berget. Jag hittade en gammal dator. Jag tror att det är på väg. Jag måste gömma mig. Det är också gjort av trollet. Jag ser trollet. Jag måste lysa så här över luckan.
Det blåser.
Yeah, all of these fillets will get a tabbing, same as we have done everywhere. We'll have the full tabbing against the hull, like the bulkhead tabbing, and then we'll have a bit lighter tabbing between the different pieces, just to keep the strength of these panels, the glass, so that it's not only being held in place by the epoxy, but also some fiberglass. Yeah, one of the goals with the interior of the boat is to get a really silent interior without any squeaks and stuff that is moving against each other. To really try to, first and foremost, get a really strong and stiff hull, but also that the interior is not moving around inside of the hull. Yeah, it's a bit hard to reach everywhere because I don't want to put any weight on these walls or bulkheads now. I think I'll have to try with the ladder. Not really possible. Let's see, maybe this way. Yeah, that didn't work very well, so I'll just have to try without. So I think I have done all of them now, and it will be really interesting tomorrow, once this has cured, to see, you know, when we can put some weight on this, the nav station area, to see how it will feel to, sit here. Maybe I put a mock-up pallet or something. Yeah, but this is it for tonight. Yeah, a lot of people nowadays thinks that a nav station isn't really necessary any longer on a sailboat, since we're doing most of our navigation through tablets or on the plotter, and very rarely bring out the full-size chart to do the navigation on. But I still think that the nav station has its role on board a sailboat. And especially on a design like this, where we're going to have really good visibility. So it's more like like a pilot station where we can keep watch and do the navigation at the same time. Something that you really can't do on a more classic design where you have the nav station down below with no visibility of what's happening outside. So I'm thinking that we might have double controls here as well for the throttle and also for the steering, maybe just through the autopilot with the joystick, or with a small wheel through hydraulics to the quadrant. But yeah, that's something that we don't have to decide right now. But I really think that this will be a great place for keeping watch when the weather is bad, and that you at the same time can have a look at the navigation or the radar. And for us, this place will also play a second role as an office where we can do video editing, computer stuff. And of course, all of this could have been done from the sofa, but then you had to move everything from the table. If you want to use the table in the salon for something else, then you have to move the computer if you're doing editing. So it's nice to have like a dedicated place. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to start working on the deck now. I have ordered some more PET foam for the deck and the combing. Turns out that the 40 sheets that we already ordered wasn't enough. We're going to need around 20 more, roughly. So I have ordered those today, and hopefully they will be here within 2 to 3 weeks. So it's really hard to tell how long it will take to build the deck and the deck house and the combing and everything, so we get the hull covered. In a perfect world, it would have been nice to have that in place before next winter, so we can heat the inside of the hull and don't have to heat up the whole barn. So I've started to work on the structure in here in the day head, and it's quite complicated. I think we have decided that we're going to raise the sole slightly from what we have on the drawings. We can also raise the bed in the guest cabin slightly, and by doing that, since the hull is getting wider the further up you get on the sides, we can also make the bed slightly wider. And with all things like this, it comes down to a compromise, because by raising the floor of the sole in the day head up here, we're going to have a further distance from the sole at this height coming down from the steps into the engine compartment. And that means that those steps will need to be taller. But in this case, I think that's a good compromise, since this is really an engine compartment and a place that sure will be there quite often, since we're going to have the washing machine in here as well. But I think it's more important to have a good sized bed in the guest cabin and plenty of room between the ceiling and the bed, also at the foot end of the bed. And another thing that I'm thinking that we should change because of this, in the original drawings, this wall is, by the way, the dividing wall between the wet locker and the day head. And in the original plans, this wall is just running straight across like this, and then the steps start here coming down. But when you're raising the height of the steps, you also want to make them deeper to make it easier to walk in that stair or on the steps. So I'm thinking we should steal a little bit of the floor space or the sole space in the dayhead by offset the first section of this wall like this. And then obviously, yeah, the sole will be roughly at this height. And on that side, we're going to have a blind wall of plywood that it's going to be removable. And behind that, we can hide some of the plumbing for the toilet and for the sink. So by doing this, we get a dual purpose, and we don't have to have any pipes or anything running on the sides inside of the wet locker, at least not up here. Yeah, so the plan for today is to get these laminated and maybe the sole as well. And then I can start gluing that in tomorrow. Yeah, Vera has been a bit sick for the past few days, so Malin have been taking care of her. But next week she will be back tabbing more of these bulkheads and yeah, the new structure that we have glued in now, the nav station area. But I think this will be as far as we can go this week, and I say this every week, but thanks a lot for watching, and a really big thank you to all of you who really support our videos. It really makes a difference. So if you're interested in that, there's always a link in the description of our videos to our Patreon page. Hope to see you back here next Friday. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.